Hi friends, today we're going to work on lesson 3 in our chapter, and this lesson is about mentally adding 10 or 100. Okay, so we're going to kind of expand what we worked on yesterday in our last lesson with adding the hundreds and using addition facts that we already know. We're going to kind of expand that to also include our tens places, okay? So open up to page 363 in your book to follow along. All right, so we're going to model this using base 10 blocks. All right, so it says 126 students are waiting in line for the yellow buses, and 126 students are waiting for the green buses. Okay, so we have 126 students waiting for the yellow buses and 126 students for the green buses. 100 more students get in line for the yellow buses. 10 more students get in line for the green buses. How many students are in line for each bus now? All right, so let's talk about what we've started with. All right, so there's not a lot of space. I do apologize. So we have 126. So we have 126, 4, 5, 6, and then the same on the green, 126 using our base 10 blocks. Then it says 100 more students get in line for the yellow buses. Boom, 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 another 100. And 10 more students get in line for the green buses. So then this becomes, which they want us to write here, 226, because you can see 226, and then this becomes 136. So the the hundreds place is what changed here, and the tens place is what changed here. Now, don't panic if you're a little confused. Let's talk about that in more detail. To add 10 or 100, you're going to think of addition facts that you already know. All right, so in this case, they want us to mentally add 100. So if I have 215 plus 100, the helpful hint is that we know that 2 plus 1 is 3. Because we're not adding anything to these numbers, they just have 0, they're not going to change. The ones place and the tens place are going to stay the same. So then you have 2 plus 1 is going to be 3, so our answer is 315, right? And you could have done that in your head because since you know that when you're adding 100, it's not going to change the ones or tens place, so you're just going to change the hundreds place, and you could mentally do 2 plus 1 is 3, okay? So let's talk about the same thing, but with tens. So in this case, we have 250 plus 10. So we know that 0 plus 0 is going to be 0. It's not going to change. We know that 5 plus 1 is 6, and 2 plus nothing is, of course, 2. So if you think about it, if you know that you're just adding 10, you know that only your tens place is going to change. So you could mentally say 260 because it's 10 more. You could also think about it in terms of skip counting. If I was skip counting by tens, you know that's the only place I would change, and so on. Okay? So let's add some. So 450 plus 100, I know my tens and ones aren't going to change, so I can mentally in my head do 4 plus 1, which equals 500. So then I know that 450 plus 100 is going to be 550. Okay? The next one, 630 plus 10. My tens place is the only thing that's going to change, so 3 plus 1 is 4, so it's going to be 640. Okay? 801 plus 100, only my hundreds place is going to change, so I can say 8 plus 1 is 9, so then my answer is 901. 115 plus 10, that tens place, I can mentally do 1 plus 1 is 2, so 125. So notice that when I'm adding 100, only this hundreds place is changing. When I'm adding 10, only the tens place is changing, okay? Now this is only because they're ending in zeros. You're mentally adding these, and it's like skip counting, okay? It's not always going to be just those numbers that are changing, but for today, it is. So 500 plus 10 is going to be 510. 237 is going to be 337. All right? 327 plus 100 is going to be 427, okay? So just that hundreds place is changing. 755 plus 10 is going to be 765, okay? And it might seem like I went pretty quickly, but remember our goal for this chapter is to mentally add. So just mentally means in your head. So you're just in your head supposed to be able to kind of do those quickly with just changing your hundreds place or just changing your tens place, okay? So why is it easy to mentally add 10 or 100? Because that's the only place that's changing. And it's kind of like skip counting. You're just going up by 100 more or 10 more. Okay. So you're going to practice that today. Down here, you're going to find the missing number. So basically what you need to do for this is you're going to look at your answer and see if it's 10 more or 100 more than your first number. For example, 392 is going to become 492. Well, I can see that my hundreds place is what changed, so I'm adding 100. In this case, they give us the 10. We know we're going to add 10 to something. So if I have 825, what's 10 less? Because think about it like you're going backwards. It's going to be 815, right? Because that, if you add 10, is going to equal 825. So this is a good exercise for your brain to really think about the different steps that get you to that number. And of course, problem solving, always applying what we learned with some word problems. And you're going to expand that with your homework for credit. So you're going to work on adding 100 or 10. And then, of course, finding those missing numbers and those brain builders. As always, just do your best. We'll work on this in small groups and work together. Try hard and remember your growth mindset that it's okay to make mistakes because that's how you grow, but you really have to try and do it on your own. You shouldn't have your grown-ups doing your work for you, okay, friends? All right, as always, have a great rest of your day. Bye.